you need to buy this in a phone pouch, and then you go to the market and you're like, do you know what might be interesting? What if I buy a recharge card? The average Nigerian cannot afford 3 square meal, but we think that our problem right now is to change the national anthem. Imagine me alone in the house, going out to turn on my generator, and I'm wondering, I hope somebody has not jumped the fence into the compound. I hope that I am safe. So why I would blame the thieves for coming into my space, disrupting our mental health, putting my brother, because my brother is still traumatized by the entire experience. This is what a society whose economy is in shambles is going to keep experiencing. When I say some men are very wicked, this is what I mean. You have the effrontery to call having an affair on your wife a stint. You had the effrontery to do that to a woman who had told you, oh, I want to have a business, I want to do this, I want to do that. You convinced her to quit her job to stay at home, but you're having a stint with somebody who has a full-time job. You see that men are wicked. Very, very wicked. Very, very wicked set of human beings. Hi guys. I know it's been a minute since you guys last saw me here. For those of you who are subscribed to my newsletter, I believe that you have an idea of what exactly happened. And for those of you who are not subscribed, it may seem like, oh, something I did on a whim. But no, this has been something that I had wanted to do for some time. But I didn't know how crucial going away for the best part of me had to be. We'll talk about it when we get into the video proper. I just wanted to do a recap of the crazy things that happened in my absence from social media. And a few heartbreaking things that happened to me while I was away. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Welcome back. If you're just seeing me for the first time, you don't know who I am. My name is Maranatha. You can call me that, or you can call me Queen, or you can call me any, but Queen is not the best I would go for obvious reasons, you understand. I am the producer and host of Mara podcast, a podcast that I have left abandoned for some time, of which I am still not sure what my plan is with that platform. Of course, you're watching me on YouTube right now, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Maranatha Abuja or Mara Abuja, as the case may be. Where do I begin this thing from? So I would start with the usual one, which is usually explaining why I went away. So I had a surgery, a mini surgery, but I think that was the primary reason for my going away. Then my secondary reason for going away was that I was mildly very unhappy with some situations in my life. But that decision was pre-informed by the first one. So being that, number one, I had surgery, a very minor surgery. I posted a video last week and I had written it in the description. But then again, I know that so many of you guys don't read descriptions to some of these videos. You only just, watch the videos and go about your way. So I wrote a newsletter, I think on the 30th of April, that I was going away from social media and I was going to explain later. So a couple of years ago, I found a lump on my breast, on my right breast. And if you know me, you know that I'm always advocating for check your breast. After periods when you just, do the whole breast examination thing. It was because a couple of years ago, we found a lump on my breast. And I wasn't lackadaisical, I would say, but I played it off. I played it very cool, believing that, it wasn't cancerous or whatever. And then I eventually had this scan done, and I found out that it was a fibroadenoma. I hope that I'm not murdering that name. And the radiologist at the time had given me a few options and said, this isn't very scary because thank God it's not cancerous, but I would advise that you get it taken out because sometimes they can escalate and become cancerous, especially because it's been there for a couple of years. Sometimes when someone else says, oh, I think there's something here, I usually just deny and be like, no, it's not what you think. Because again, I don't want to get into the situation of explaining that, oh, this and that. So I basically just shut it down every goddamn time. Until last year, when I went for another scan, and I was told that it's now bigger in size from what it used to be. I was scared, as I should be. And the radiologist said that, oh, I had two options, get it removed or get pregnant. And I think it's the usual thing they tell women who are approaching 30 or in their 30s. When you have some of these issues, it becomes a high priority because of the age that you are at. I tried to find out exactly what getting pregnant had to do with it. And, he was explaining how some of these things are hormonal imbalances. You can explain it, blah, blah, blah. It's nothing I did or nothing I didn't do. That because a fibroadenoma is a muscle that just appears. Nobody can explain it medically. It appears. And so, in April, you guys remember when I went for hiking? I came back from hiking. I had my period. Usually, my period comes with breast tenderness, right? The period lasted for 7 days, which was weird. Because, again, my period takes 3-4 days. At most 5 days. And the 5th day, nothing literally is down there. And so, when I had this period, it went on for 7 days. And I kept complaining to my friends that, oh, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. And I still feel that my breasts are tender. And then I realized, like, a few days after the period stopped, that, oh, my left breast was no longer paining me. But there was this sharp pain on my right breast. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lie down in certain positions. I couldn't lie down on my back. I couldn't lie down on my stomach, rather. It was always on my back. If I turned to the side, it's a problem. The second morning, I woke up and I realized that, oh, there is a swollen lump close to my areola. And that was when I started to panic. By the time I woke up the next day, it was a full-blown. It turned into something else. It was reddish, it was painful, it was swollen, and it became an emergency situation. And so I was scared, there was this other lump on the breast, and now there's something else that is becoming painful. Again, all of us, we are all Google doctors. So I started to Google, I started to, check, are cancerous lumps painful? Is this normal? I started to feel like maybe this is a trigger from me not taking out the other lump, because again, it's been 5 years even, I would say. But I kept beating my time. Like, when this thing becomes absolutely necessary, I'm going to get it taken out. But for now, I didn't think that it was anything until the second one appeared. But anyway, the long and short story of this entire thing is that I went to the hospital and we got both of them checked and removed. So yeah, thank God for a successful surgery. And I'm begging you guys, please take these things very seriously. Something else I wanted to mention. At some point, the physician or surgeon who attended to me, I didn't like our first interaction because he sort of age-shamed me, but I understand, which is why I'm even talking about this. There is a certain age we get to as women that it becomes paramount that if anything is wrong with you, you notice any slight changes, you should run to the hospital, literally. So yeah, that I know that it may be weird that I'm saying this out of the blue, which is literally not out of the blue. This is an experience I had, So the whole of my May, I was busy recovering. And shout out to my friends, NK, Sharon, Manuela, V, Dami, and my male friends as well, Mayowa, Shim, Femi, all of you guys. Yes, my colleagues Oh my God, my friends, Obianuju, Regina, Emanuela, Michael, and Bada, I think. You guys, thank you so much for everything you did for me in this period. I couldn't have been sane. Oh my God, I couldn't have, and oh my God, my friend Helen, I don't know how I forgot her name, but yeah, I couldn't have been sane without you guys' support and love and constantly checking on me, listening to my every whim, following me to, go through. You guys practically went through everything that I went through with me. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you guys. Thank you for all your monies. Oh God. Yes, too. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. I'm super, super grateful. My partner as well. Thank you. But yeah, that's by the way. I didn't come here for you guys to do a pity party for me. As you can see, I'm fine. I'm okay. The surgery sites have closed up, so I think what's left are the internal healings, because I still feel that the parts I be hard, but the doctor has assured me that these are normal tissue reactions, and with time they will go away. So yeah, I'm super grateful to everybody involved in this my healing process. So yeah, but let's get into the other things. Now, the latest in Nigeria is that Nigeria has gone back to its old national anthem. And I can't for the life of me understand. Okay, well, maybe I understand where this is coming from, because this debate has been going on for years. We've been going on and on about how the national anthem is not befitting or doesn't fit into the Nigerian struggle and all that. I know we've been saying this thing for as long as I can remember. I think maybe 7-8 years ago we've been talking about this national anthem issue. And so maybe it is not that it is coming so sudden, but I think that the issue that myself and a lot of Nigerians are finding very difficult to understand is how there are so many high priority issues that we should be focusing on as Nigerians. But instead of doing that, we are busy is like saying, oh, you need to buy this, like a phone pouch. And then you go to the market and you're like, do you know what might be interesting? What if I buy a recharge card? So do you see that? The issue is not that, oh, national anthem was supposed to be changed. Because at the end of the day, we are going back to if we're complaining that, oh, colonialism or colonization or whatever, we are still going back to the national anthem that was put together by. So I really don't understand, but I think that this is Tinubu and his court's idea to shift Nigerians from the actual problem and focus on the nonsense that they are doing. Because tell me why the average Nigerian cannot afford 3 square meal, but we think that our problem right now is to change the national anthem. Because I really don't get it. I don't understand how our priorities are so misplaced in this goddamn country. I'm tired, and I believe that so many of us in this country are tired as well. I keep complaining and using myself as an example because I earn what I earn, and I go to the market and I run back home. I go to the market and my heart drops into my stomach when I get the prices of things. How is this normal? How is this our new living reality? That people who even earn considerably okay are not even able to afford normal food stuff. This is not me even saying, oh, I want to be like a big girl, because that one is already a suicide mission. This is me saying I cannot afford 3 square meal. Because when you go to the market, the prices of these things will make you want to run mad or scream at somebody. But you can't even blame the sellers because they're also buying these things at very high prices. So how do we solve this problem? Well, our Nigerian government have decided, no, this is not the thing that we should be burdening ourselves with. What we should be thinking about is how to change the national anthem. We are passing bills that doesn't even solve our problems. Like, how? Who did this thing to us? That every time there is a problem to be solved, we leave those problems and start focusing on secondary issues. Or, what am I even saying? We start focusing on tertiary issues that should not even be things that we are considering. So that takes me to the other thing I wanted to talk about. When I was going through this hard time, I was at the hospital And I don't want to get into the story, but we had to sleep over at the hospital. And my brother, shout out to my brother and my sister as well, Christabel. They were also here with me during this tough time. And one of those days, I had to be at the hospital and I slept over. And petty robbers came into the house. When we got back to the house, I know that some things were taken. My brother's personal gadgets, his computer, his phone, power bank, my own personal, gadgets as well were taken. But when we came back from the hospital, that very day I was also treated for malaria. So a lot of things happened very weirdly that again I don't want to get into in this podcast or in this video. I don't want to get into in this video. And when I came back, my friend Ella had come and they had helped tidy the place. So I didn't see firsthand the damage that was done. But I know that the experience traumatized my brother. So much so because he was threatened with a knife, and my other neighbors, one of them got stabbed. So yeah, it was pretty much serious. And so, but when I got back, he told me, some certain things were taken and this and that, but he didn't see because of the entire situation that was playing out in front of him. And even me, I started to wonder, what could they have taken? They were the obvious ones. And then there were others that I kept saying, I probably wouldn't figure out what were the items that were taken from me. And today makes it 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And I'm finding out that this one is paining me. Forget the other things that I've taken, but this one is paining me in particular because it's a microphone. Forget that I'm smiling. It's paining me so much because, I kept repeating to everybody. When people, my friends were asking me, what I want to take care, I was like, I feel things were taken, but again, I don't care. And maybe my clothes or whatever, because he said he saw them putting stuffs into their bags. But today, I wanted to do, again, so I've been away, and today I wanted to do this video. And I started to look for my microphone everywhere, and I can't find it. And then it dawns on me that, this episode that happened a couple of weeks ago, the microphone was part of the items that were taken. I don't even want to talk about my mental states of how sometimes I'm in this house and I'm thinking, what if I didn't lock the burglary, and I'm waking up to go and check that, hope the burglary is properly locked, or I want to go and turn off my generator. You guys know I work with a US company, so my work shift is 9 to 5, but it is 3 to 11 or 12-ish. So sometimes when power gets cut off, I have to turn on my generator. So imagine me alone in the house, going out to turn on my generator, and I'm wondering, I hope somebody has not jumped the fence into the compound. I hope that I am safe. You see, it's just been, and this is what a society whose economy is in shambles is going to keep experiencing. I want to be sad and say that I don't understand why robbers are robbing. I want to stand on my high horse, on my moral ground, and say that, people who steal are bad people. Because of course they are bad people. But then again, this is a cause and effect reaction where people are not able to feed well. So they are going to look for vulnerable Nigerians or people who they think have something that they need or they can steal from to get by. And so, why I would blame the thieves for coming into my space, disrupting our mental health, putting my brother, because my brother is still traumatized by the entire experience. Sometimes he talks and he's like, my life flashed before my eyes, and I probably would not have been standing today because he was the only one at home. My house was usually filled up. But that particular day, it so happened that he was the only one in my house. And this is somebody who was coming to my house for the first time since I moved into this space. Like I said, I don't want to go into the entire thing, but it was just like, this thing needed to happen. For whatever reason, I feel like it needed to happen. But I'm derailing. Again, I blame the country's economy for putting me and my family in this situation that we are in. But what they think is best is to be changing national anthem when there are things that we should be thinking about. But okay, no problem. Takes me to the next story. So on social media this week, we are finding out that a 32-year-old man, because it's not a boy, anybody who has crossed 25, 26, 27 is not a boy, killed his father and his stepmother because he wanted to inherit the father's house and property. A friend of mine sent me the link, and when I was watching the video, a couple of thoughts ran through my mind. Again, sometimes we want to blame parents. We want to blame parents for children's bad behavior. We want to say that, oh, this child has not been raised well, and if the child had been raised well, he wouldn't wake up one day and think that it is okay to kill the parents. And this friend, we got into a conversation and he had said that he blames the parents. And I think it is bizarre that I agree, parents have a responsibility to their children. Parents are the first beacon of hope. When children are starting to come of age, they are the first people that you're supposed to learn values, morals, and all those things from. And again, I'll use myself as an example, or let's even use a random family as an example. Maybe in your family, there are 6 of you guys. All of you grew up in the same household. You're exposed to the same environment, exposed to the same food, the same morning devotion, the same nice prayers, the same stories, the same hardship. But would you tell me that the whole 6 of you, your parents gave birth to, are all acting or behaving the same way? So I know that then again, there is a level to which you can blame parents for their children's behavior. But I think that an adult, hear me again, an adult who is a man or a woman who is now an adult and has taken certain decisions into their life, your parents can't share in that blame for you anymore. So as much as we would like to say, oh, what kind of home was he raised in? When I watched the video, I of course heard some of the siblings who were crying and, insulting their brother. So are you telling me that it's not the same upbringing that foolish man and his siblings were exposed to? So I think that, which is something else I want to talk about, right? There is a stage to which you grow as an adult that you can no longer blame your parents for your misfortune. I say it again. There is an age to which you grow to. There is an age you turn or you become, whatever that English is, that you can no longer blame your parents for your misfortune. So if my parents didn't raise me right, I wake up one day, I've gone to school, I've met people, and I realized that, the lifestyle that my parents has exposed me to is the wrong one. As an adult, I can tell the difference between good and evil or good and bad. I should be able to make conscious efforts for my life or for where the path that I want my life to now to. So I get that there are some of these things that have been ingrained in some people. You can't change, you can't repent. But again, let's be realistic. Your parents have done the best that they think they can do for you. It is not your parents. No parents will want their child to kill them. So if what our youth in the society now sees as living as a big boy or as a big woman is that I want to own certain properties, or I want to be able to have certain amounts of money in my bank account, and they can't give me fit to go to the streets or go and get a job and hustle like an adult that they are, and what they're thinking about is how they can find their father and mother so that they can inherit the property. Then there's something fundamentally wrong with you as a person. And it has nothing to do with what your parents did for you or did to you. Maybe yes. I remember that the first episode of my podcast that I ever did was growing up. which I had AG and V on. And I remember that we talked about how certain environmental factors influenced the adults that we are now. It's the way or the things that you saw while you were growing up that informs who you turn out to be in the future. Understandable. Yes, I understand that. But like, now you are an adult. You have the platform. You have the means to become who you want to become. It's just really sad. And I hope that that guy gets, he lives all the rest of his life. Because two people killed two people. So I hope that he spends the rest of his life in prison. And I'm really sorry to the rest of his family members, because for you to have grown with this kind of person and not seeing that this guy is capable of this kind of act, there's a problem. It means that he probably has been doing other shitty stuff whilst they were growing up, and they just kept saying, oh, he's a guy, and that's why these things can be excused. It's just really sad. It's sad. Then again, I cannot say that I blame the government. Yes, no, they are the first people that I would blame for anything that goes wrong in our country, because if everything was great, I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but I'm speaking in general now, that people who are stealing, I said it before, people who are having a tough time, right? There would be a lot more suicide cases in this country, a lot more thefts, a lot more armed robbery operations, because of the situation that this stupid country has put us all in. The stupid ones amongst us who went to vote in this president. I hope that you can see all of these things that is happening. Now, I also remember seeing a story. All these things I'm saying is like an information overload, because I was away from social media. And I came back and, I started seeing all these stories being thrown at me left, right, center. There was also a story that mentioned that the US government wants to come and have a military base in Nigeria. Tell me why your president is considering this. There are stories of other African countries that we can go by, right? There are people who have gone through these experiences so that we do not have to go through it. But guess what? Like the rest of you guys who voted Tinubu, who didn't know what his exact plan is, I want to put it to you that you see this military-based thing was part of the reason why the foreigners, the foreign people, supported that he won the election, because they are looking for somebody who can sign us away, because that's the way me I will look at it. Tell me why another country should be allowed to have a military base in your country if it is not that they want to keep controlling our assets in this country. Now, flip it around. Will the US allow another country, more so Nigeria, to come and put a military base in their country, in their backyard? For what? Like, what do they hope to achieve? If it's not that we are not a thinking country, we don't understand what's... But then again, like I said, now, vote this presidency into power. I'm just waiting for all of this event to start unfolding. As I am like this, I've given up on this country. And quite frankly, we are not feeling well. We can't carry out our normal activities properly. Nobody is having it peaceful. That's the way I will put it. Even the rich men are not having it peaceful, because you have low-income earners under your employment, and you can see that some of them, every time you see them, face the frown because a security man who is earning 32,000 or even 60,000 naira and has family to take care of, that money is chicken change. I'm telling you guys that I'm alone, and 60,000 naira cannot feed me in a month for 3 square meal. What does that tell you? So imagine people who are earning minimum wage and they have families. How will they afford to? It's madness, honestly. And instead of your Nigerian government to start thinking of how to increase the minimum wage, we are here changing national anthem. Because then again, you want to buy a phone pouch and you're going to the market to go and buy a recharge card. How does that make sense? What is the correlation between that? On another news, Niger State, see, if I say that, this is our country, the problem where they do was, I don't feel understand that. Niger State conducted a mass wedding for over 100 girls, young girls who are supposedly orphans, and because they don't want them to become a shareholder on the street, so they look for men for them and marry them off. See, when I say that, coming back online, I feel like I want to crawl back into that hole. I want to go back to becoming ignorant because I already have a lot of problems in my life, right? And then I come online and I'm seeing this one story after another, and I'm just feeling like, who do us this thing? Who do us this thing for this country? Who do us this thing? So I don't want to sit down here and say the plenty things that's on my mind, because then again, I want you to think about it. That's part of the problem that we have. Apart from our northern leaders, the president of this country, our northern leaders, what they prioritize in the name of religion, in the name of, it baffles me every now and again. It baffles me. But the foreign affairs woman have come out to say, the first statement she made, I really liked it, which was that it is somehow for you to pack underage girls to go and marry them off because you think, you don't want them to be promiscuous. Who are these men that you are marrying them off to? Only for her to get threatened, and then she turns around and says, I'm going to empower these young girls, giving them bags of rice and yada, yada, yada. I don't know who does this thing, I waiting me, I just talk with us. I don't know who does this thing. And so it will be somehow for me to sit down here and pretend that I didn't see that all of this nonsense are going on in this country. On a lighter note, I was on Instagram and I was on Dan, and I read this story by a cheating man apparently, but he called it a stint. Who said that, he got married 8 years ago, and before they got married, his wife was doing really well at her job. She was a working woman, But then he told her, this is not the direction I want my life. I want my wife to be a stay-at-home wife so that I can take care of the children, yada, yada, yada. But the wife woke up one morning and decided, I want to start business. And so if it's not one business today, it's one business tomorrow. To make matters worse, she has decided to go to Lagos Business School. And so he's coming to Dan to tell us that we should advise his wife. Because, first of all, it started with, I want to appreciate this community because I've learned so much from this community. And then he goes ahead to say this thing and say, I want her to, why is she not listening to me? I want her to quit whatever she's doing and stay at home because this was not the deal. And she's leaving the children with the nannies now and yada, 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 and all that. And then he goes ahead to say that I think she's doing this thing to me because I had a stint with a woman in my office. I had a stint with a woman in my office 3 years ago. I want you guys to know that what this man is calling a stint is that he had sex, he had an affair outside of his marriage with a woman who is a working class woman, mind you. So if you want to have a stint, you didn't think to go and look for a woman who is a stay-at-home girlfriend. You see, when I say that, some men are very wicked. When I say some men are very wicked, this is what I mean. You have the effrontery to call having an affair on your wife a stint. You had the effrontery to do that to a woman who had told you, I want to have a business, I want to do this, I want to do that. You convinced her to quit her job to stay at home, but you're having a stint with somebody who has a full-time job. You see that men are wicked. Very, very wicked. Very, very wicked set of human beings. So, while we were going on me, I just said, inside all this matter, this man has not learned a single thing from this community. But no problem. I'm happy for the wife. Good on her that she's actually going ahead to do what she wants with her life. And this is the thing I mean when I say that. Men want certain women, but they don't want the traditional certain women that they're looking for. So you want a woman who is a stay-at-home mom, wife or mom, whatever. And you didn't look for a girlfriend who isn't working, who has decided, I don't want to work. You want to look for the one that said, I had a good job, I'm doing job, and then when I won't marry, you can't convince her and she quit her job. So this is my problem. As a feminist, I always say that I don't shame people for their choices. I think what feminism gives us is the freedom to be whoever you want to be or whatever you want to be. So it is not my place to say, oh, I think you should be a working woman. Or I think, like me, you should be very opinionated. Or, oh, I think that you should not be a submissive wife or whatever. I think feminism just allows you make that choice of whether you want to be a submissive wife, whether you want to be a housewife or whatever. Now, the issue becomes, when you do this thing at the expense of a man, it's a problem. So imagine this kind of man now, when don't tell you say he quits job. Then these things can't escalate, can't become full on, oh, I no longer have respect for you, I don't love you anymore, let me bring this my stint home. What becomes of you then? So do you see my problem? Now the wife replied and she told us, oh, this man did not lie. Everything he said is true, but I don't understand what his problem is, because it's not like I'm never at home. I'm at home and there are nannies at home. I'm always there. My family members are there to help. And he's also a hands-on father. But his problem is that he wants this woman to be at his mercy financially. I keep saying this thing, I think that one thing you can do for yourself as a woman is to gain financial freedom. It's good to chop your husband's money. I too want to chop my husband's money. But I think it is a fulfilling, I don't know how to explain it. It is fulfilling. Yes, it is fulfilling to know that I have money of my own and I'm making a choice to be with this man. Not because of what he can provide for me, but because I love him. And so, when he's moving mad, I will not now be conditioned to remain in that place, in that relationship or situationship, because of that money that I'm reliant on him for. So when we say women get financial freedom, it is not that, oh, we are hoping and praying that your husband should cheat so that you can leave him. No. It's for you to know that you are choosing to forgive this person because you want to forgive him for this bad thing that he has done to you. It is knowing that I can say no and I'll still be fine. Anyway, I feel like I've spoken too much. I've said a lot of things. What I want to say is that I don't think that I'm still okay to come back on regular social media or extend myself. I just feel like talking or writing is usually the way that I let go of how hurt I am or what I'm feeling. But that has also been helping because I feel so unhappy with my life. I feel very unfulfilled. I feel like my life is blowing past me and I'm watching my life pass away year after year. And I'm really not happy about the strides that I have made, which is not to say that I am ungrateful for where I am right now, but it sometimes, especially this period, I thought about so many bad things that could have gone wrong or should have gone wrong, and I realized that if I die today, I really have nothing. I don't know. It's a very weird thinking, and so I still don't feel okay to come back on regular social media. But I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. And I would lie if I say that I am unhappy all the time. I'm not unhappy all the time. It's just this feeling that comes and goes and makes me feel very, very small, in the sense that maybe there are things that I should have done that I haven't been able to do. And I don't know who to blame, but myself. It makes me sad sometimes. And I feel like I can't, it cripples me that I can't do anything. And all I want to do is just keep watching movies and movies. Which is to say that in this 1 month of being away from social media, I have watched, I'm sure, more than 50 movies. More than 50 movies. Maybe my next video I'll do a run through of some of the movies that I liked and some that I didn't like. So yeah, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share with your friends and family. Pray for me. Yeah, everything else that you're supposed to do, please do them. And I hope to be back here next week with another video. And I hope that the situation of this country doesn't make us do extreme things. Please don't kill yourself. Please don't take your life. Like me, I'm also unhappy about so many things, but I sometimes clutch onto these small strings of happiness that I find from friends, So please, I beg us, I know that Nigeria is not Nigerian at this point, and honestly, if I am feeling like this, I don't know what so many of you out there are feeling, But what are we going to do? If you need to shut down like me, do it. If you need to shut out so many things, so many people, do it. Whatever you need to do to be fine, please do it. Surround yourself with people who understand what you're going through and people you can talk to. And I hope that this war is coming, this thing, because I don't suppose that Nigerians are going to keep taking all this bullshit that Tinubu is doing. I hope that we'll live to tell stories of victory. See you in my next video.